Yukina. I'm a 26-year-old housewife living with my husband Natsuo. Before getting married, I used to work full-time, but I switched to part-time work after our wedding. Now, I work at a nearby supermarket. I love cooking, so preparing meals every day wasn't a chore for me, but there was just one problem. Natsuo often complained about the food I made.
Ugh, this is awful. What is this dish? I never ask for restaurant-quality meals. Just make it taste normal.
Was the seasoning off?
Off? It tastes like something out of the countryside. Like a rustic, unsophisticated flavor. I'd rather eat food from a food court than this.
What do you mean by unsophisticated taste? Every night you eat my food with that look of disdain. Hearing it's terrible every time I cook really gets me down. Ever since we got married, Natsuo has criticized every meal I've made. But before we got married, you said it was delicious, didn't you? I don't think my cooking has changed.
You really took those compliments to heart? How naive. It's always so bad I almost throw up.
Even though you say that, you always finish your plate.
You're working part-time, so why don't you spend more effort studying how to cook? I'm a gourmet, you know. My stomach can only accept refined flavors.
Got it. Hearing that makes me mad. I need to study cooking more just to prove him wrong. From then on, I used every free moment between work and chores to study recipes and ask friends for cooking tips. I feel like I've gotten better at cooking. Natsuo shouldn't have anything to complain about now. I confidently served my cooking to Natsuo, but after taking one bite, he let out a sigh.
Did you even taste this? Why can't you make it taste good? Am I asking for too much?
Is it really that bad?
You can't even tell yourself? The flavors are clashing. It's a mess.
Clashing flavors? I didn't add anything complicated. Just simplified the seasoning and changed how I made the broth.
Stop! How can you serve such terrible food to your dear husband? Got it? Put more effort into it.
I understand. I'm sorry. Since then, I've become afraid to cook. Every time I prepare a meal, I worry, what if he says it's terrible again? I've lost confidence in my cooking, and it's affecting my job as well. One day, while stocking shelves at the supermarket as usual, my senior colleague Misaki approached me. Yukina, you look down. Is something wrong? She was concerned and kindly listened to my troubles during our break. I started to talk about everything that had been happening. My husband says my cooking is terrible. I've done my best, but nothing seems to improve. I see. But the food you shared with me before was very tasty. I can't believe your usual cooking tastes bad. Thank you. I've even asked my parents to try it, and they said the same thing as you. Maybe it's just your husband's taste. But I'm worried about you, Yukina, for feeling so troubled by this. Lately, I've been afraid to cook. I haven't been sleeping well either. Oh, that's serious. I couldn't sleep due to stress before, and I went to see a psychiatrist. I can introduce you to that clinic if you'd like. Even if there's nothing wrong, it's good to get checked out. Let's go once, okay? Oh, okay. Thank you. With her recommendation, I started going to a local psychiatric clinic. On a day off, Natsuo was waiting in the living room for me to serve the food I made.
Well, let's see how today's meal is.
Natsuo took a bite of the food I made, scrutinizing it. After a moment of silent eating, he said something unbelievable.
This is a 2 out of 10. Out of all your cooking, this is the worst. I can't eat any more of this, so I'm throwing it out.
What? Wait a minute! Ignoring my plea, Natsuo dumped the food into the garbage.
Man, don't make me do this. Hurry up and get better at cooking. Now, what should I eat today? I'm starving.
I've reached my limit. I can't stay silent when he throws away the food I worked so hard to make. I'm sorry it didn't suit your taste. With that, I left the living room and decided to make a call. 30 minutes later, the intercom rang, and I let a visitor into the house. Natsuo, I heard you're hungry.
What? Mom? What are you doing here?
Yukina told me you were hungry, so I brought a lot of homemade dishes from home. The person I called was his mother. She came with bags full of Tupperware containers. She started opening each one in front of Natsuo. Go ahead, eat whatever you like. Natsuo's expression changed drastically from earlier, and he started to look pale. Natsuo, isn't this great? Now I don't have to cook anymore.
What?
She was once a career woman at a large company. She was notoriously bad at cooking, so his dad had always been in charge of cooking while she worked. After retiring, she started cooking herself. Natsuo used to suffer terribly from the awful taste whenever she cooked. I've been trying so hard, but it seems my cooking doesn't satisfy you. You must be craving your mother's cooking. Only she can make it the way you want.
What? No,
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I always regretted not cooking for Natsuo because I was so busy with work. Now, don't hold back. Eat up.
Okay. Thank you for the meal.
Unable to refuse in front of his delighted mother, Natsuo grimaced as he took a bite. How is it? Yummy?
Yeah, it's yummy.
I'm so happy. If you like it so much, I'll bring more often.
What? But if you do that, Yukina won't have any work left to do. Right, Yukina?
Isn't that fine? You must be tired of eating my food all the time. You said you wanted meals with more effort put into them, right? Oh, it's almost time for my part-time job. Can I leave everything else to you? Yes, of course. Yukina, you should take a break from housework and relax sometimes. Thank you so much. That's a big help. I'll be off then.
No, Yukina!
Your father mentioned that he was having a hard time with your mother's cooking at home. This is perfect timing. From that day on, his mom prepared all 3 meals for Natsuo. Whenever she had time, she'd stay until Natsuo finished eating. Natsuo couldn't eat anything else. As a result, Natsuo ended up with a stomachache and lost a lot of weight in just a few days. 1 month after I left the house, Natsuo called me.
Yukina, I've been wrong all this time. Please forgive me.
What's up all of a sudden?
I'll never call your cooking terrible again. It was all a lie. So please, make your delicious meals again. I can't stand my mom's cooking anymore.
What do you mean by a lie? Why did you throw away my cooking?
I've been really stressed with work lately. Criticizing your cooking was just me taking out my frustration.
Taking it out on me?
The truth is, your cooking was always delicious. And when I said it was terrible, you tried even harder, right? Seeing you make such an effort made me feel superior. I'm really sorry. I'll never do that again. So please forgive me.
So you criticized my cooking for such a stupid reason. I really can't forgive you anymore. Do you know what this is? I showed him something I had in my pocket.
That's an IC recorder?
Yes. I've been recording all the terrible things you've said to me.
You never get better at this. You'll never improve at your job either, will you? I'm so kind that even though your cooking is terrible, I don't go buy convenience store meals, you know. I'm just watching my useless wife's progress. That wasn't... I didn't mean it.
You didn't mean it? But you still hurt me deeply with your words. Can you look at this too? I handed Natsuo the medical certificate I got from the psychiatric clinic.
What is that?
It's a diagnosis for autonomic nervous system disorder. I cry without warning and I can't sleep at night. The doctor said it's due to severe stress.
Severe stress?
You used me to relieve your work stress, but how should I deal with my own stress? Especially when I haven't done anything wrong. It's nothing but harassment, isn't it?
I'm truly sorry. I'll make it up to you from now on.
Even if you make it up to me, I'll never forgive you. Actually, you've become a source of stress for me. You understand, right? I need to cut off the source of stress to get better. So I want a divorce. I don't want to cook for you anymore.
Divorce? Please reconsider. I'll do anything.
You know it's already too late. I can't forget the look on your face when you said my cooking was terrible.
No way.
Oh, and I've already sent the recordings from this to your parents.
What? Why would you do that?
Because I need to explain the reason for the divorce. Well, in any case, you reap what you sow.
Don't joke around. Thanks to me saying your cooking was bad, you got better at it, didn't you?
That's true. But I worked hard because I wanted to cook delicious meals for you. Improving my cooking at the cost of being your stress outlet doesn't make me happy. Well, I'm going back to my parents' house. I'm not coming back here. So do as you like. With those words, I took the packed bags I had already prepared and headed to my parents' house. After that, I proceeded with the divorce through a lawyer, citing emotional abuse as the reason. Although Natsuo resisted, he agreed to pay me an additional 2 million yen in compensation on top of the division of assets. His mom was furious with Natsuo after hearing the recordings I had made. I'm never cooking for you again.
Oh dear, wait a minute. That won't teach Natsuo a lesson. So, you should keep cooking for him from now on, to ensure he never does anything this foolish again.
You're right.
No way!
In the end, thanks to his father, he would continue to eat his mother's cooking. His dad called me the other day and told me, and I couldn't help but laugh. What's more, just like Natsuo used to criticize my cooking, his mother had started scolding him about his work. Why don't you get promoted? You're not putting in enough effort, are you?
Gah!
Natsuo not only has to endure the terrible food, but also gets nagged about his job by his mother. She even suggested he study some qualifications to improve himself. At home, he has no time to rest and spends his days studying. Meanwhile, I continue to work part-time and started using the cooking skills I've honed to share recipes on social media. Gradually, I've gained attention, and a publisher even approached me about writing a cookbook. It feels like my cooking is being recognized, boosting my confidence. The timid person I was while living with Natsuo is no more.